What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Hope you all doing well. This is David Meni, aka Big Money Meni, and this is our Big Money Meni book club. And I know I'm breaking protocol. I know I said I was going to get my sleep going and all that stuff, but you know it's been a while, and so I couldn't keep ignoring my channel like that. So wanted to get back on here and get another channel out the way because I'm behind my goals as far as how much reading I wanted to get done this year. I am on my second book, and that is a lot more than what I've done in the past year. So I'm definitely proud of that. But, you know, we got to get this thing going, man, and move on to our next project. And I definitely have some other channels that I want to get into, breaking down the Bible and really, you know, dividing that slowly so we can get, you know, a really good understanding of it. There's a lot of things that I'm going through right now, new things that are being brought to me, new information, and I'm really excited about it and can't wait to share that with people. And you know, if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, I'm very controversial when it comes to that kind of stuff. I break away from the mold. I don't go with the grind per se. You know what I mean? I'm a little different in that way, but you know what I mean? You got to be your own person, man. You know what I mean? Just question things that don't sit right with you. And that's what I'm about. All right. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Chapter 11 was breaking out of a crisis. What comes out of a crisis? We talked about Bedros Keuilian, who built probably the biggest company when it comes to fitness. And he says it all came out of a crisis. Today, we're going to be reading chapter 12. Vision isn't served. Family. What is it? Vision isn't a dish-served family style. I love it, man. And so pretty much what he is saying is that when you have a vision, if God puts a vision in you, it's not necessarily going to fit with everybody else. Not everybody's going to agree. Not everybody's going to like it. There's going to be some people that are going to tell you to sit down and shut up and stop talking about this new stuff. There's going to be people that are a little hesitant to change, a little hesitant to something that's new. And that's just how people are. I'm sorry, you know, how it is today. People, they're just kind of scared of change. They're a little reluctant to take on new information, especially if it's against something that they've come to know their entire life. You know, they're going to look at you like you're the weirdo here. But before we move on, special little video I want to share with you guys. Just a little bit of a plug of something that we got going on in during Thanksgiving, during that weekend. And I want to share that with you guys. So let's see. Hopefully this goes well. 1 second. Nice. Awesome. So yes, this is a little promotion we have for our revival coming up at the weekend of Thanksgiving. All right, so Thanksgiving is Thursday. Friday, you can do it, I don't know, whatever you do on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, we are having a revival here in Hacienda Heights, California. So if you are available, you are more than welcome to come and fellowship with us, have a good meal, hear the word, fellowship with brothers and sisters in Christ, and get your revival on. So you are more than welcome to come. This is our church, and yes, just wanted to put that out there. So proud of that little video we made over here. It's just getting our flexing a little bit on our, I don't know what you call it, computer skills. We're just trying to, this is new for us, you know what I mean, but we're trying to do something different here. But pray for us in our ministry, that we will continue to grow, and continue to bless people along our path. Right. So chapter 12, guys. All right. So it's a long one, but I'm gonna get through this as fast as I can, right? Because so this is vision isn't a dish served family style. All right. So this pertains to anybody that has witnessed a bad relationship, bad leadership, a bad partnership. When I say partnership, I mean business. If you have ever had, got your hand in on business, if you ever given it a shot, and maybe you had developed partners, and you might experience how, because people are different, there's a little bit of friction there. It doesn't always work out. And so this right here covers Bedros Keuilian's experiences on partnership and the ups and downs of partnership that he has faced. And pretty much what he's saying is that in partnership, you're going to come across people that they might have it going on. You might have a good feeling about them, and for some reason or another, it just doesn't work out. All right, but so he teaches us through his experiences how he's able to move on and keep keep the wheels moving. You know what I'm saying? Keep business going, stay afloat. All right, so he talks about how, because first of all, his big company that he's known for is Fit Body Boot Camp. All right, that's the one that brought in the money. Okay, today's multimillionaire, very well known in the entrepreneurial field, in the fitness realm, and also in motivation. All right, very direct person. He's a great coach. So he talks about how he came up with this idea and his ideas are always around fitness. It's always about making it affordable for people to have a personal trainer, because if you don't know, it's very expensive. All right. And so he talks about how technology was the solution for him. And, it came in by way of a software program that he called High Tech Trainer. That was his big idea. This is way before Fit Body Boot Camp. This is in the early 2000s. So if you think about how technology was back in the day, it played a big factor in it. He was talking about having a personal fitness trainer that was very affordable. You just come into your gym, you grab your Palm Pilot, right? And maybe some of you don't know what a Palm Pilot is, but it was, today we have an iPhone. And before the iPhone, there was the BlackBerry. And before BlackBerry, there was a Palm Pilot. Okay, so the Palm Pilot was, about the size of a brick. I mean, it was a big device, big heavy device, but it had pretty cool features on it. It was quite revolutionary when it first came out. But it quickly got out of style. It quickly was losing its cutting edge touch, as newer technologies were coming out. And by that time, 2010s, the teens, that's when technology started to take off, right? So he had this idea of having a Palm Pilot personal trainer, and it was this new great idea that he had, and he was thinking he needed to get some investors here. So he sought out two business partners, and one was his mentor, Jim Franco. We read about him in the first couple chapters of the book, right? And he was the owner of a automotive software company, right? And he would come in, and he was going to be the money guy. This was the person that was going to bring in the money, and also the tactics on how they were going to market this idea. All right. And so he also had a friend who was one of his clients, a personal training client, and he was a software designer, and who also had another friend who was a programmer. So these two would come in, and they would be partners in High Tech Trainer. So just like that, he started off with a second business, because at this time he was still doing personal training, and selling ideas to personal trainers to help them build their business. So now he has a second business, right? And he's, you know, he said, by this time I owned even less of it than I had with the personal training company that he first had, a measly 35% of the pie to call my own. And so a high tech trainer phase was a phase in his entrepreneurial career that was filled with incredibly fruitless lessons. Though the business itself proved to be a disaster, he soon learned that after spending a fortune in software development, prototypes, and trade show booths, that the Palm Pilot can't be safely handled in the gym. They were stolen, broken, and quickly became outdated. All right. So by the time that the by taking the software online helped them to extend the life of the high tech trainer, making it a sort of a website, and that gave them another year or two with this product. But the problems with the partnership ran deep. So this is where he talks about the partnerships. Okay. So he has an idea. The idea has the potential to bring in money, to expand business, and it did well for quite a while, right? However, there was partnerships. There were flaws in his partnership, right? So we're talking about the leadership of the company. And if you've ever experienced leadership, or maybe you were in leadership, or you've seen the leadership in your job, in your business, in your church, in your family, that had flaws, you would understand that this would affect everything else, right? Just like how, me doing my podcast at 3:00 in the morning is definitely going to affect the rest of my day. I'm well aware. But they said for one guy, one example that he was given is that his partner, Jim Franco, the money guy, was shrewd enough to get him to sign a document for the loan. So all the money that his buddy Jim Franco is the rich guy. He was going to have him fund the idea of this, this new fitness product. And Jim, even though he was a friend, made Bedros Keuilian sign a document saying that he would pay back every penny that was invested into this company before they even started making a profit. And he was a little upset about it. It was like, okay, I can't believe he's going to do that to me. And he was going to pay back every penny plus 8% interest. So he says here that he was a damn good deal maker, and he negotiated a killer deal for himself and not one for me. He said, had I known better, I could have manned up and challenged him. But at that time, he didn't have that skill. He didn't have that knowledge, right, to man up and handle the situation. All right. And so hence the book that we were reading today, Man Up. We eventually paid back every single penny to Jim. All right. He said he also mentions how him and his wife, they partnered up. And even though they were struggling and could barely pay off their rent and their expenses, they still paid back Jim Franco. Another big problem that he had in leadership was that he was starting to feel the sting of resentment, with this whole partnership thing. And it was saying that it was messing up with his work. And so he didn't sense this. He did not sense the same level of commitment from his partners that he and his wife were putting in. So he said, Diana and I, he calls her Di and I worked tirelessly creating the extensive exercise database, photo shoots, building an email list of potential clients. So they were doing all the work to market this product, but their partners that they were putting into this project, they weren't putting up their side of the work. Right. And so he says the other partners, they got caught up in their quotation real jobs most of the time, dedicating little effort to make high-tech trainer grow. Right. And so he says eventually, because of the leadership problems and the partnership issues, high-tech trainer was eventually shut down and the company disbanded. But while working on high-tech trainer, it was a way to make ends meet. And he said he started selling, marketing, and business systems and business information to personal trainers. It was simply out of necessity because he had sold his personal training studios in order to focus on the high-tech trainer full time. Right. So he had made some changes in his original business to keep this new idea afloat. And now he was selling off this personal training studios and information. And so he said that he was quickly running out of money while waiting for the big bucks to start rolling in from high-tech trainer, which never happened. All right, so big bummer. He's got this brand new idea. He invested. He got partners to invest. He had to pay them off, not just pay them back, but pay them off their 8%. And because of the flaws in their partnership, um, it never panned out. This idea didn't work out, and that's just part of business. I mean, you would think that that's something major, but every single time I get a chance to roll through a business park like I had a chance to today, I saw a lot of companies, and I see how they would decorate their buildings, and I see a lot of them that put money into their buildings and designed it a certain way, certain paint jobs, the landscaping was done nicely, and you can see how they set up areas for their employees to go and have a break and things like that. And I see new companies setting up new warehouses and stuff. And I was just wondering, I was just thinking about um, the money that goes into their ideas. They must be excited. These new buildings that coming in based on someone's idea to make money. And how much money they put into it. So you got to understand that every penny that is invested to a business, yeah, there might be some loss at times, but it is worth the investment, right? Everything that you have to sacrifice to pay off the rent, to pay off, the decorations of your office or whatever you have to do, whatever you have, it is so worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I take pride in the office that my wife and I have for our financial service business. We're not there as often as we should, but we have an awesome office there, and it does represent how serious we are in business. Even putting money into like building this little set that I have here in the corner of my room. I take pride in it because I believe in what I do. I mean, I love coming on here and doing this podcast and this book club and sharing information, which again, I have some more ideas of things that I want to get done here in the podcasting realm, so pray for me as I, move through that slowly. That, but it's going slow, but it's going to happen. I really do believe that. And so, he talks about, how he had to sell off all these things, and now he's selling information. And so he was waiting for the big money to come in from this new business idea, and it didn't happen. All right. So this is an encouragement to people when it comes to business. Yeah, there's going to be times where things, don't work out the way we thought they would, or maybe it's just going to take longer than we thought it would. But he got back into the role as a go-to business advisor for personal trainers. He said the truth was that he knew how to sell and market personal training like no one else did. And I had the information that thousands of personal trainers across the world needed. And so I highlighted that part because to me, I love how, when all else fails, when partners fails, relationships fail, he always knew how to market personal training. He knew how to sell personal training, and he knew that no one could do it like him. And so what he is basically saying is that he's not afraid to, lace his shoes and go to work. He's not afraid to get back on the field and sell product when he doesn't have a team. Like, for example, we've gone through it too, where, we had a whole team quit on us, and it doesn't feel good. In fact, it's very discouraging, and sometimes it takes a while to get back to it. But, the beautiful thing is that you can always write business on your own pen. You can always get back to work. You can always pay bills on your own merit. It sucks that you have to kind of get back to your roots and everything like that. But if that's what you have to do to keep your business afloat, then hey, that's what you got to do. Right. So he says the truth was he always knew how to sell and market personal training like no one else does. I love how he says that because he understood that he had the work ethic. He knew that he is the best at this. And so he can always get back to it. So he says that the internet became a vehicle for providing personal trainers with everything they needed to succeed in their business and how to sell, market, and manage their personal businesses to an email newsletter software that put their marketing onto autopilot. So this is what he taught people, right? How to succeed by selling, marketing, and how to build an email newsletter. Again, this is his business right out of college that we learned in the first couple of chapters of this book. So that was his go-to. That was his fallback. And he started teaching people that to make the internet your best friend, to promote your business, create this email listing. And today we have social media, but back in the day, email listing is where this guy found all of his leads and just firing off emails left and right, and getting people to buy into his product. Right. And so it says here that he knew that he was the one-stop shop for fitness professionals to become profitable and successful. As my influence and following in the fitness industry began to take off, but my gut told me that being the guy behind the computer screen just wasn't enough. All right, so now moving on to the next phase, he understood that yes, he's good at this product. Yes, he can market, he can sell, he can make money, quickly like that. But he understood that it wasn't enough to fit his vision. And so you got to think bigger, right? You have to think bigger. You got to think promotion, marketing. What can I do? Well, instead of just handing out flyers, what can I do instead of just, messaging people on social media? What can I do? And so the next big thing is the big event, right? And so we learned this in our business. There's nothing like a big event. Big events so I don't know what's going on with the camera here. All right, so this means that he had to put on his first live event, and this scared Bedros. All right, so he was not comfortable with this. He says this was, the first thing he thought was, "Holy shit!" I thought about putting together an event in a hotel ballroom, coordinating the details, getting other speakers, creating schedules, and selling the tickets was completely overwhelming for me, and way out of my comfort zone. All right, and so this scared him. But he says there was no way that I could see doing this alone, and so I was in need of the man on the white horse. He says someone to swoop in and do the heavy lifting for me. And so here we are entering partnership number 3. And he says, and no, the third time was not a charm. Wasn't a charm. So he says that was the Fitness Business Summit. Which I guess is a summit that he has yearly. The first one was in 2007, and he said people don't know that it was a co-run operation that he ran with his first business. He ran with another fitness personality. He doesn't give his name, and he said, let's just call him Jacob. And so he says Jacob took half of the profits from the event, even though it was Bedros' small team that did all of the work. He said that my small team and I did every ounce of the preparation, the sales for it, together with Di, my assistant, my brother-in-law, Pete, and I did everything that that had initially scared me stiff about putting on a live event. We had rented a ballroom. We coordinated the details. We found other speakers. We created a schedule. And we sold every single one of the tickets to Fitness Business Summit. Yeah, that sucks. The other guy took the majority of them, or half the money, didn't do any of the work. So he says the partnership was obviously lopsided. Jacob benefited a lot more than I did, and I kept feeling the burning resentment of being in a partnership. Right. So this right here could easily burn, and I can relate because I've been, part of leadership that, we just weren't on the same page, and you can easily get burnt out by, working with people like that. Not that they're bad people, you're just not on the same page. And when you get burnt, over and over again, you can easily get that resentment, where you got your guard up all the way and like, I don't want to do anything with you no more. So I've been there, right? And so this, that was more like a one-sided bargain. It wasn't the last time either. He said my business partner at Fit Body Bootcamp would create the same imbalance. Once I discovered what it was going to cost to make Fit Body Bootcamp into a franchise model, I had to come up with an alternative plan. Otherwise, I was going to become another statistic of 2008 and the economic crash. All right, so getting into this whole partnership thing, this is where he talks about having to deal directly with his partner. So he talks about this Fitness Business Summit, but he also had a partner at home in his regular business, Fit Body Bootcamp, and we're going to cover the relationship that he has with that person. Pretty much, he had a partner in his business, and they both had different visions and different styles on how to get business done. and it just wasn't working out. And so he understood from all these relationships and these that he's he's these partnerships that are just failing, right? He's listing all these partnerships that are just not working out, and he has his business partner at home with his regular business, and it's clicked in his head. It's like, okay, if I keep doing things the same way that I've been doing with these other three partners that failed me, this business partner I have here in my business is going to, it's just not going to work out. So moving on, he says that is when I got into hustle and grind mode. All right, so hustle and grind mode. For the next 4 years, I hustled around the clock to sell Fit Body Bootcamp locations. I burned the candle at both ends. I was simply in the money making mode to save my house that was left for my business. And what was left of my business, I ordered coaching and consulting services to gym owners. I sold Fit Body Bootcamp gyms to anyone who would buy one. I created courses and information products so that I could have something to sell at a lower price. It was a game of survival and hell or high water. I was going to survive. I love how he says that. He was just in this new mindset, this grind phase where it was like, I have to do this. There's no other way around this, right? It's hell or high water. I was going to survive. There's nothing wrong with hustling and grinding, but I had gotten used to the chaos, the high speed, the flying of the seat of my pants, and I didn't know how to stop. So that I could create systems and structure to finally scale my business as the economy improved. Right. And so he says, plus I started to see that Larry, his business partner at Fit Body Bootcamp, had different work ethics, and we had two very different goals. So rather than deal with the differences of my business partnership, I dove deeper into my hard work and kicked my hustle and grind into overdrive to avoid the real shit that I needed to address. So he says that there's something not right here with his partner Larry. There's a problem. They're seeing things differently. And he says instead of handling it, he figured that he could bypass that by just working harder on his end. Maybe he could pull more of the weight and get stuff done. But he knew that he really needed to address this. So between 2009 and 2013, he worked like a rented mule. I operated out of a place of fight or flight, and I was going through employees left and right that would end up just quitting, not show up for work one day, and I never hear from them again, and I blamed them. But it was just a chaotic time, and as I mentioned earlier, I was a chaotic and ineffective leader who was unclear in his vision and I communicated poorly. I was indecisive and emotionally reactive. All right. So definitely he has learned from his mistakes and has identified what made him a weak leader. He was very, these are things that we studied in this book so far: being chaotic, ineffective, not communicating clearly, unclear about your vision. And he says being indecisive and emotionally reactive. I think that's the worst thing about any leader. If they react, based on the emotions, or any person actually, I'm not that kind of person, but I do speak my mind, and I learned that there's people that emotionally react, but he says through it all, he managed to make Fit Body Bootcamp an official franchise in January 2012 after nearly getting $500,000 to California in fees, and becoming a franchise was a ray of sunshine in an otherwise dark time in his entrepreneurial career. There was a glimmer of hope getting this franchise. And so they were selling franchises here and there, nothing groundbreaking, but he saw the potential of what it could be, and he just didn't know how to get there. But what we're learning here is keep moving. He didn't know how to make his dream be realized here, but he knew that if he could just keep moving towards this vision, it was going to happen. All right. So he also tried to convert his licensees into franchisees, but he said, so we can get some traction with the new model. But I had one hell of a hard time doing it. He says, in fact, rather than converting into franchisees, Our licensees eventually dropped out of being part of Fit Body Bootcamp, the model altogether, and went on to do their own thing. Now, I witnessed that too, and being in financial services, we got people licenses to help families with certain services, and they went on to work out with banks and things like that, and that kind of hurts, but I feel his pain right here. So he says clearly this was a byproduct of over compromising and under delivering, but I didn't know that then. We had high employee turnovers. We had people that were the owners that would lose confidence in them and in their leadership. And he says, plus the tension between Larry and me was so thick that you could literally feel it when we were in the same room together. All right. So leadership, man, just having problems with other people in leadership, it can ruin everything. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole company is going to feel it. The whole group is going to feel it. Your team is going to feel it. Your church will feel it when there's friction in leadership. And so he says that not only was there people quitting, there's a high turnover because of a product that was being over promising and under delivering, but there was friction between him and his partner. And so he says, I'm sure our clients felt this way. Felt this friction and experienced it in our less than stellar service and made the decision to jump ship. Looking back, I would have made the same decision too. A lot of other crazy shit happened that led to the dissolving of his business partnership with Larry. He says on April 10, 2012, he received an onslaught of angry phone calls from Fit Body Bootcamp owners, right? So owners of his company, and regarding Larry's latest shenanigans. This time his actions had crossed the line, and the results of which reached heights that could possibly put us all out of business. He says he was on vacation. He was in the middle of a family trip to the Palm Springs with his family, but he had to cut it short. And that ended, he said that very day they packed up, they drove back to Chino Hills to end the business partnership with Larry. And okay, so this is the drama now, right? So this is the drama that goes on. This is when he's going to confront his business partner Larry and pretty much let him know, like, hey, it's just not working out. So he says during the entire drive from Palm Springs to Chino Hills, that's quite a long drive, I said these 5 words to myself over and over and over again. It's time to man up. It's time to man up. Right. And so he says, I drove into Chino Hills with guns blazing and called Larry, telling him to meet me at our office. I started rehearsing what I was going to say when I saw him. And he has here in quotations, Larry, this partnership can't go on for another day. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. We have to part ways now. Those words kept repeating in my head. And I dropped Di and my kids off at our house and drove to our office. When I saw Larry there, the words that I had rehearsed in the car came pouring out with a level of intensity and focus I never knew I had. And that was that. I feel for him, man, right here. You know what I'm saying? So let me be cool. Let me be clear about something. Larry was not a bad guy. He didn't have bad intentions towards me or towards Fit Body Bootcamp. In fact, we were family friends to this day. No one makes me laugh harder than him. But in business, he was extremely disorganized. He was unfocused in his work, and he lacked the drive needed to grow a big business. This was the wedge that created resentment in me. Throughout the 3 years we were business partners in Fit Body Bootcamp, there were many instances where Larry missed important deadlines, overpromised, and under-delivered to our Fit Body Bootcamp owners, and stressed our employees so much that they lost all respect for us. Ooh, that hurts, man. And their desire to help grow Fit Body Bootcamp. Man, so as a leader, you got to step up, because here's the thing. When you don't perform as a leader, and I'm speaking to myself as well, when you don't perform as a leader, other people will start to get stressed out. Other people feel it. They start to question the opportunity. They start looking at you like, man, if you can't do it, what makes you think I'm going to do it? Because there's going to be things that are overpromised and under-delivered, and people feel that. And this is the same thing as a parent talking to his kids. If I tell my kids something that I'm going to get things for them, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, I'm going to buy this and buy that, and I do not deliver, eventually they're going to lose trust in me. They're not going to they're not going to give any credit to my words. Eventually, everything that just comes out of my mouth is just fluff. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is this way of operating out of Larry really hurt the business. You know what I mean? It affected them in a major way to where people lost respect for their words, lost respect in their leadership. And that hurts, man. That hurts, to see that. I never want to see that for anybody. You know what I mean? Um, Pretty much, your whole team just kind of turns on you. Right. And so they even lost their desire to help grow the company. Nobody's going to perform under that kind of leadership. That is why leadership is so important. So I want to encourage you to look up John Maxwell and the laws of leadership. And the very first law, I'd say that was the most important one, the law of the lid. When the leader doesn't elevate, when the leader doesn't get to the next level, nobody else will, because everybody will only go as far as the leader can. And if the leader doesn't move, then the leader has then capped off all potential growth for the rest of the team, for the rest of the company, for the rest of the church, or whatever body, right? So he says, although I was an ineffective leader and lacked communication skills, decisiveness, emotional resiliency, and clarity of vision, I did have a tremendous work ethic and a massive sense of duty and obligation to our franchise owners. Looking back, it was these qualities that enabled me to carry the business when everything else was going to shit. And I love how he recognizes what he could have done better. He says a better leader would have communicated his frustrations to Larry much sooner, right? Handle it right away. A better leader would have been more clear in his vision for the company and path to success, right? So clarity of your vision, right? A better leader would have been more decisive and responsive. A better leader would have focused on building a stronger team, workplace culture, and morale. But I developed these skills after the erosion of our business partnership. It was too late. He gained these skills eventually, but it was much too late. And sometimes it's okay to have a failing relationship like this, because this is how you learn how to get better. This is how you learn what to do better the next time around, right? So he talks about partnerships, and we're getting closer to the end here. Partnerships should come with a warning label. It says, heed this warning. Most people get into relationships for the wrong reasons. Most businesses, partnerships don't work. Listen, marriages are partnerships too, right? So let me say that again. Most business partnerships don't work, and marriages are just partnerships too. And we know that statistically, about 50% of them end up in divorce. Business partnerships are in many ways no different than marital relationships or marital partnerships. The problem is that most people get into business partnerships blindly. Wow. You probably don't think about the personality match between you and your business partner, and I'm willing to bet the farm that you dated your spouse much longer before you got married. In business partnerships, it's quite the opposite. You barely know each other. You think you share the same passion, values, and work ethic. You assume that the other person will pull their weight and share your vision. And then you have the kind of rude awakening that I did. I've been fortunate to have a whole series of supportive partners and colleagues. I've worked with some of the best people in the world, and today I'm so lucky to have people in my business as people and partners that I have in my life. He says, but for those who are just starting out, you should know sometimes your vision isn't meant to be shared. Wow. Nobody puts it like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody says this. Sometimes your vision it just isn't to be shared. Why? Why would he say that? I think he's saying that because not a lot of people are going to be on board, and even if they are, they don't have the same work ethic, and so it doesn't work out. All right, but this is just him from his experience. I think you should definitely share your vision. It's just you keep sharing it with the wrong people, man, you're gonna get burnt out. This isn't a popular thing to say, but of your desire, how much of your desire to have partners come from a fear of not being able to do something yourself? Ooh, that's big. That was the case for me. Early on in my partnerships, I didn't have the entrepreneurial confidence in myself that I have today. So I constantly took on partnerships with the hope that my partner would bring some level of knowledge, wisdom, or experience that I didn't have. He was looking for partners to help him fulfill the need that the business has at that certain time, right? And so he says, let me be the first person to tell you this. You have everything you need to be successful as a business partner. I mean, as an entrepreneur. You must let me say that again. Let me be the first person to tell you this. You have everything you need to be successful as an entrepreneur. You must start believing in yourself instead of looking to others to solve your problems so that you can finally man up, get disciplined, and take your business to its fullest potential. Very good, man. Very good. Very good. So let's finish it off with an exercise. All right. And so exercise is, he says a lot of people spend time creating the perfect vision for their wife or their husband. They don't do this for their business partners, associates, or employees. I'm asking you to do just that. So he says, I write out on one page what the ideal business partner, associate, or employee looks like to you. And it says to tailor it to your circumstances. If you're a solo entrepreneur, figure out what the ideal team member looks like. He says you need to do this because it'll help you to get a real sense for the kind of people that you want to work with. Right? And that's it for chapter 12, guys. 42 minutes into this video. I just, want to say, man, God bless you. Whatever your vision is, I pray that you will help to, that you will realize it, that you will make it happen, that you put the work behind it, that you partner up with the right people, that you have the right motivation, that you stay focused. I pray that, everything that you want to happen in your life, that it happens, that it comes true for you. And I want to let you know, man, that, first of all, Jesus Christ is the only way. There's a lot of craziness right now, and I wouldn't be doing justice to the kingdom of God if I didn't mention that Jesus Christ is my Savior. And I want to let you know that He's in it for you. He's here to bless you. He's here to help you. He's here to save you from whatever you got going on in your life. Anything negative, anything that I have friends that I didn't know that were struggling with depression, like I was. But I want to let you know that God is great and He will bless you and fulfill every need that you have. And on this subject of vision, your vision is not going to fit everyone else's. Okay. Your vision is special. Your vision is different. Your vision is for you. Your vision is for what you got to do. And so when other people don't understand it, don't get dismayed. Don't get discouraged. One of the things I'm glad I spoke to my uncle today and some other family, and they were talking about my dad and how I had that complex that he did, where it was just, I give zero. My wife knows what this means. I give zero about what other people think and say. My whole thing is, to stay blessed and bless other people, shoot for my vision and work hard at it, right? Which I definitely got to, I got a lot of work to do. And the other thing is, to question things. And if people don't like what I do, I am who I am. I like what I like. I support what I support. You know what I mean? I just have that confidence about me. I'm very sure about what I'm about. And I just pray that you have the same for you. So hope you got a lot out of this chapter. And if you have any books that you feel that you might want to read along with or listen to, shoot them my way. We can definitely do something like that. We're going to do some more work and get something on spot Spotify, and definitely got to get some more content up on Anchor. But we are here on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We'll get to working on that again soon, and also Instagram. I apologize for all the time I'm taking off. Just had a lot going on. Was very sick for a little bit, but got better, and so thank God for that. Anyways, continue to feed your mind, you guys. Seriously, continue to feed your mind. Read a book. I'm telling you, it's a lot. It's very beneficial. You want to get your critical thinking skills down. Reading a book will definitely help you to start thinking on your own and not depending on information to be drip fed to you. You know what I'm saying? None of that stuff on TV is going to help you at all. And so, yeah, just wanted to say, man, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. Love you all. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.